The baby's awake. The light is bad. And I just recorded the first 15 minutes of this with no sound. We beat on boats against the current. Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tabitha. If you watched my video about how embarrassing it is to start a booktube and you still watch this one anyway, you're a real one. Thank you. But I am back to actually talk about books. It was nap time when I recorded this the first time. Before I get into fall stuff, I thought I'd wrap up my summer of romance reads, which was kind of my vibe this summer. Mostly because I had a baby in April, and my brain was barely hanging in there. And so I needed things that were going to be easy to pick up, easy to put down. And also, I'm really trying to find romance authors that I love. I grew up reading romance, of course. I loved Nicholas Sparks and John Green and all the late 2000, tragic romances and romantic comedies and whatnot. But I hadn't really read it in a while. I didn't read it in college and post grad. So it's only been recently that I've been giving it more of a chance, mostly because of the Queen, Emily Henry. I love her so much. She's like a soul author to me, and I want to find other authors that feel that way. Basically, in the beginning of postpartum, finding a lot of peace and joy in reading, especially on my Kindle, audiobooks, things like that. I'm going to make a dent in my physical TBR because I have a lot of books I haven't read. And so I made a stack of physical romance books that I owned that I wanted to read before I could then buy the new Emily Henry, which I knew was going to hit. Let's talk about books. So I started with Abby Jimenez. I know that she is very beloved. Lots of people love these books. It started because I bought this book just for the summer. Because it's gorgeous, and I had credits on Book of the Month to use. So I bought this, and I posted about it. And my friend Alyssa came in the comments and was like, this is a trilogy, right? And I was like, no, I did not. So this one I bought consciously, and then I bought the other ones because they came before it. No idea what they were about. And so the first book on this summer romance PBR I read was Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. It's not that I didn't like it. I did. It just didn't do for me what I was kind of hoping it would do for me. This is my very first Abby Jimenez, the first part of the little series. I did really like the whole thing about the town and how it chooses people. I liked Daniel. I thought he was great. I want good things for him. But just something about it, it just kind of it just didn't hit like I wanted it to, there were some things that were a little bit they felt very much like character types at time. I'm like, Alexis, you're damn near 40 years old. What do you mean you're so rich you've never been on a pickup truck? That, I don't know. Some of the things just I was like, I don't know. I don't know. I liked their journeys. I like that she got rid of her terrible ex and her terrible friends, but also it was sort of hard to read at times. But to be fair, this is the first physical book I read postpartum. And you just get stuck a lot postpartum. You just end up stuck under the baby, stuck with the breast pump, things like that. By the time I got to yours truly, I didn't really care. I don't know. I started reading it and I was like, eh. And for me, I'm very sensitive to burnout with genres that are not my typical genres. I very rarely get burnout with lit fic because that's my go-to. Romance can burn me out. So I was like, I'm not going to read books that are not immediately sucking me in. So that was my first start. To avoid burnout, I went for one I knew would not miss Emily Henry, Book Lover. Somehow I had never read this one. Also, I bedazzled this one at a Stacks Book Club bedazzle event with one of my coworkers, Lauren. I had so much fun. I'm going to do this to just all my books now, I think. But this one deserves it. It's so sweet and fun, and I loved the sister dynamic. I love any book with sisters in it. I ate this one up. I thought it was wonderful. I love the Grumpy Sunshine. I loved the way they surprised each other. Sometimes people don't like books where when authors always write about book people. I love it. I eat it right up. And then also as an editor, I enjoyed this book too, of just kind of reading about her love for words and her love for championing people. I don't know. I'm 10 out of 10. Had a great time. So then once I read that, I was like, let's be so for real. I know I'm going to buy this book. Let's just do it now. I haven't taken the Target stickers off of it yet. But so I finally gave in. I bought The Great Big Beautiful Life because I felt like everybody was reading it but me and I had FOMO. I thought it was wonderful. So many people didn't like it. And from the criticism I saw, like it's more like lit fic. And they said it like a bad thing. So if you were like a romance purist, I could see maybe this is not the one for you. But I love it. I actually lean more towards lit fic than I do romance. So to me, this one is like a nice middle ground, but it was still very much a romance. It just kind of had that structure of, talking to Margaret, getting the story. I loved the characters. I loved their dynamic. Both of their names are escaping me right now, but I thought it was wonderful. There was like that nice reveal, but it wasn't like relying too heavily on the reveal. Some criticism I saw is that she was trying to be Taylor Jenkins Reid. I'm gonna be honest and say I think that she was doing what she was trying to do better than Taylor Jenkins Reid. But I can see how, because Taylor Jenkins Reid has these like very popular books in sort of a similar style, I could see the comparison. I get it. I enjoyed how Emily did it better. Sorry. So then, oh yes. So after that, of course, I read The Summer I Turned Pretty. I didn't read these in the 2010s when they came out. I really wish I would have. I think 19-year-old me or whatever would have like eaten this up. And I had rewatched the show in anticipation of the new season, but I didn't read the third one until after the new season came out and like after that final beautiful, beautiful episode that I'm still not over. Because I didn't really know what was going to happen. Like I had my suspicions, but I didn't know how we were going to get there. And so I'm glad I read these. They were so much fun to read. What I really loved about them is Belly is such like Book Belly is such a brat. Like she is such a little twerp and she like has these like really big bratty reactions. But she is like embarrassed by them immediately, but she cannot help it. And I've never really seen that represented. I feel like that feeling of, oh my God, I'm being terrible, but like I can't stop. Why am I being like this? Which is so quintessentially like 15, 16. I really related to that. So I really enjoyed Book Belly, and I think getting a little bit more of her like perspective was great. It was cool reading it and seeing all these like lines that were so Jenny Han that were like in the show, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know that was in the book. So I loved that. I will say, don't cancel me for this. I will say, based on the books, it makes a little bit more sense to me why someone might be Team Jeremiah. Okay, not permanently, but like by the end of book 2, I was like, okay, I kind of like I can see it now more. I feel like in the show it was much more you were going to be on Connie Baby's team no matter what. Seeing a little bit more about Jeremiah, I was like, okay, I feel for him. I feel bad for him about his experience with his dad. Like, I mean, the characters are more nuanced in this, but the plot is much more minimal in this, which makes sense because a novel stretched out to a TV show versus a novel stretched out to like a movie or something. They had to add a lot more. So that was kind of surprising to me. Also, I feel like in the show, like everybody just like forgives Belly for a lot of stuff. But I just feel like in the book, it's just like a little grittier. Like it's not painted over. The thing I love about the show is like these like insanely like cocaine summer house vibes. I don't know how to explain it better than that. This doesn't really have that. This is, I think, a little bit more realistic in times. Also, like in the books, who's Steven anyway? He's not even in it. Taylor's barely in it. So there were liberties. It's cool that it was liberties that Jenny Han got to be involved in. They're like, that is the dream, is to write something that then gets made into a movie or a book or a show, and then get to be in that show, and then to put all Taylor Swift songs in it. Like, are you kidding me? So I read these, had a lot of fun, put them aside for a minute. It was very funny though that I was reading this one and my sister commented on my story and said, "Oh, Dakota's reading those too." And I'm like, "Oh, Dakota, my 13-year-old niece? Great." We decided she might be a little young for this, so she did not finish them, but still embarrassing. And then I read the remaining 2 Rebel Blue Ranch books, which are Lyla Sage. I loved them so much. I went to an event for Lost and Lassoed when I think Wild and Wrangled was already like almost out. Oh yeah, you can tell because there's steamy little fan art in this from the promo package we got. I love Lyla Sage. I think that Lyla Sage is one of my. Oh, I think Lyla Sage is one of my soul romance authors. In that she does what she's trying to do so well. She does comfort romance so well, and she writes these like emotional support cowboys and like safe men. Like men that you would trust with your drink at a party or to get you home when you're drunk. Like that's the kind of people that she writes. And there's nothing else in the books. So there's some mental health struggles that are, like briefly mentioned, briefly tackled. There's some very strong found family. There's the Amos writer of it all. I love him so much. So I love all the characters. They're very, very cozy. They're not much else, and that's like what she wanted, I believe. She has like a quote about how she wants them to feel like a sunny day or something, and that's exactly right. So these were perfect postpartum busters. Lost and Lassoed, I think, is my favorite of all four. I didn't know Gus Ryder was going to do it for me the way that he did. I don't know what it is about these two. I loved them. I loved them. It just, I loved it so much. The yearning is brief in most of these. And this one, I think maybe the yearning was a little farther. So maybe that's why, because their love story started as a hate story a while back. And so we've like been with them for a while. The rest of them were kind of shorter encounters. I think, yeah, now that I'm saying it, I think that's why I love this one so much. Wild and Wrangled was also really beautiful. What's cool is that these are characters that we didn't even know in the beginning or we barely knew. Like Cam, I think, is mentioned. Dusty doesn't even come around, I think, until the second book. Um, so these were a delight. I really enjoyed reading those. And then finally, I finished with We'll Always Have Summer, which I'm so glad I waited till the end for this because it was really fun to be like invested and like kind of surprised. But having just watched the season and then reading this, like this was a little bit of a disappointment. But I mean, none of these books were really like groundbreaking to me, obviously, right? But I enjoyed them. I enjoyed this one a little bit less pacing wise. But I think it has to do with just I just watched the show. But I'm so glad I read them. So that's the end of my romance summer TBR. So I'm not gonna probably read too much more romance for a while, except I'm ending with a fall romance, and that's my transition. So I'm reading You Again, which I had wanted to read last year when I saw it. Mostly, I just really like the cover, and then I heard it's like a Harry When Harry Met Sally kind of comp. So of course I'm in it. Honestly, so far, I think I haven't read enough to like the characters. So once I like the characters, I think I'll like them more. But also, I'm kind of feeling like, okay, I need a break from romance, which is good because now it's fall. So I have my fall TBR that is more so in the like gothic campus novel, dark academia, like that's more the vibe I'm going for. Currently I'm reading, like I said, You Again, which is not those things. I'm listening to The Secret History by Donna Tartt finally, and then I'm also reading If We Were Villains by ML Rio. That's what I'm going for fall. So I'm kind of transitioning back into more of like a lit fic mystery, things that are more in line with what I'm writing. So that's fun. Since I'm not writing romance, it was fun to like read those things. I wasn't really writing anything. Now I'm getting back into it, and so it's starting to feel fun to read things that are more in the vein of what I'm trying to write. And I was thinking maybe in the next video, because I have been writing, maybe in the next video I'll talk a little bit more about that and kind of getting back into these new projects. But that's kind of where I'm gearing my reading towards next, just sort of within that like gothic fall wheelhouse. So those are my romance PBRs. I'm sorry to say that I'm DNFing those Abby Jimenez. Maybe I'll read them again later, but for the most part, I really enjoyed myself. If you have suggestions for helping me on my quest to find more soul romance authors, I would love to hear them in the comments. Or if you just want to say hi. Otherwise, I guess, I don't know, subscribe if you want to. And I'll see you in a couple of